How did South Korea went from this to this? In 2026, K-pop is everywhere, but the global success of Korean pop music didn't happen overnight. It's been a long journey for music companies, idols, and the South Korean government, which played a major role in creating huge fan bases around the world and in making sure bands like Blackpink and BTS are on everyone's lips. To understand how K-pop started, let's go back to 1992 and talk about the band that started it all, H.O.T and Boys. This band was discovered through a Korean talent show, but their performance didn't convince the judges, who completely dismissed their talent and groundbreaking musical and fashion style. Why? Because in 1992 the Korean music scene was dominated by trot ballads and soft pop, music genres very far away from H.O.T and Boys. Their dance moves, American hip-hop inspired sound and outfits were completely outside of what the Korean public was used to. But young people across South Korea loved H.O.T and Boys, and they made sure the single Nan Arayo or I Know became a hit and that the band couldn't be ignored by music industry professionals anymore. H.O.T and Boys was a very provocative band. They criticized South Korean society, including the education system, and were banned from KBS TV, a national TV and radio broadcaster, because of the way they dressed with earrings, ripped jeans, oversized clothing, which was too much to handle for a country that was still very conservative. They fused very different music genres like techno, hip-hop and rock, which is one of the main characteristics of K-pop as we know it today. But in 1992, the concept of idols didn't really exist. It came much later, in the late 90s with the band H.O.T, which stands for High Five of Teenagers, a band signed under SM Entertainment, but more on this company a bit later in the video. A K-pop idol is an artist and entertainer who went through intensive training to work in the Korean pop industry. Idols often have very loyal fan bases and curate their public image according to it. H.O.T symbolized this idea of being a good-looking artist with smooth dance moves. In 2000, they performed in Beijing, China, in front of 13,000 fans. This event helped start the Hallyu, also known as the Korean Wave, in China. Hallyu is a term used to describe the increasing international interest in South Korea and its popular culture, especially as represented by the global success of Korean music, film, television, fashion, and food. As the years passed on, K-pop's ambitions became bigger, spread K-pop outside of South Korea, starting with one key market, Japan. Boa is a South Korean idol who signed with the music agency SM Entertainment in the late 90s and was trained specifically for the Japanese market. The company reportedly invested about $3 million in her 2-year training, including vocal, dance, English, and Japanese lessons. She even moved to Japan full-time, and it paid off. She became a star in South Korea and in Japan, and she topped Japan's Oricon chart with her album Listen to My Heart. In the early 2000s, the Korean music industry was centered around 3 main entertainment companies: SM Entertainment, founded by Lee So-man, JYP, and YG Entertainment. Lee So-man studied at California State University in the United States in the 80s, a very exciting time for the American music industry, with the arrival of MTV and the Michael Jackson craze. Inspired by what he learned and saw in the US, he went back to South Korea with the ambition to change the entertainment industry and to create a system that revolves around casting, intensive training, producing, and the management of aspiring artists. Indeed, K-pop is not just music, it's a well-rounded system focused on a few key strategic components. First, casting and intensive training. Music agencies organize castings all over the country and sometimes even abroad to search for trainees and potential idols. Indeed, K-pop idols often train from 2 to 7 years before making their debut. And even after that training period, only 2 or 3% of the trainees will become idols. During that intensive training period, they learn singing, foreign languages, personality development, media training, and of course, dancing. Because in the world of K-pop, a good choreography is almost as essential as having a good song. The K-pop industry created the concept of point choreography, a choreography that's easy to remember and replicate, with key elements that catch the audience's eyes, so it can relate the song to a specific move. But this doesn't mean that the sound isn't important. On the contrary, K-pop has a very produced sound. And music agencies invest a lot of money and effort into working with producers from all around the world, especially those who know how to blend various music genres, which is another key element. K-pop basically takes the best of every genres, from jazz to hip-hop and even rock, and it blends everything to create something new. Idols really mastered social media and digital platforms communication. YouTube was actually key in increasing the visibility of K-pop, which led JYP, SM, and YG to partner with YouTube in 2009 in order to reach audiences outside of South Korea, which hadn't been possible with more traditional means and gatekeepers. YouTube became K-pop's primary distribution channel. But social media like Instagram and Twitter have also been essential for idols to create loyal fan bases around the world. Compared to Western artists who are often seen as unreachable and very private, K-pop idols give the illusion of being very close to their fans. They share daily vlogs on socials, speak directly to fans during lives, produce lots of behind-the-scenes content, and participate in paid messaging apps, which cultivates a sense of proximity between the fans and the idols. And speaking about K-pop fans, we know they have a reputation for being very intense, but they are super dedicated and contributed to making K-pop the massive success it is today. They translated interviews, lyrics, added subtitles to music videos, which helped with the globalization of K-pop. They are also very organized, and how they interfered with Donald Trump's election is a crazy example. Indeed, the Army, which is the name of BTS fandom, carefully sabotaged one of Trump's rallies during the 2020 presidential election by massively reserving tickets and not showing up to the event. But being a K-pop fan can be a very expensive lifestyle. K-pop idols don't just sell merch for the sake of selling merch, they created an economy around it. Postcards, limited editions, entire stores dedicated to idols, light sticks, and at some point, the band H.O.T even sold necklaces with each band member's DNA samples. Yes, they did that. Even if the K-pop system is really well made, we live in a world full of surprises, and in 2012, a big one hit the world. Psy was already a well-known artist in South Korea, but not many people would have bet on that guy to play such a big part in making K-pop what it is today. Psy wasn't the typical idol. He didn't have a polished look, neither polished lyrics. He likes to make fun of himself and the world around him, which he did with the song Gangnam Style, a satire about the wealthy neighborhood of Gangnam in Seoul, the capital of South Korea. The song used the growing popularity of EDM music in North America and Europe, a catchy chorus, and viral dance moves to create a global hit. In 2012, Psy was everywhere, topping the charts in more than 30 countries. He completely changed the game. His music video was the first to reach 1 billion views on YouTube, which prompted the Billboard charts to include YouTube views in their single ranking. But the success of Psy and K-pop was not only orchestrated by music agencies and idols, but by the South Korean government as well. In 1997, South Korea was hit by a major financial crisis that led to inflation and left many people unemployed. The country had to take a loan of $57 billion with the International Monetary Fund. But in order to find financial prosperity again, President Kim Dae-jung and his government implemented a new strategy that would make the Korean wave an economic force for the whole country, but also improve the image of South Korea in the world. That's when a country that faced colonization and dictatorship not that long ago became the perfect example of effective soft power. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, soft power is the use of a country's cultural and economic influence to persuade other countries to do something, rather than the use of military power. In 1998, the Hallyu Industry Support Development Plan was implemented by the new South Korean Ministry of Culture and Tourism, and aimed to promote South Korean culture and influence overseas through massive investment. In 2001, South Korea invested $84 million in culture, compared to only $14 million in 1998. And in about 20 years, K-pop became South Korea's third largest export industry. And according to Bloomberg, the K-pop market annual value is $10 billion. But there is one band the South Korean government can count on to bring money. The band BTS is signed to HYBE, formerly known as Big Hit Entertainment. This music company, founded by Bang Si-hyuk in 2005, was definitely not one of the big threes at the beginning. But with the band BTS, a perfect execution of the K-pop system, and an eye for modern communication strategies, HYBE became a key player in the music industry in South Korea and abroad. The company recently expanded to the US and debuted the band Cat's Eye, tailored for the US market with South Korean strategies. When they debuted in 2013, BTS was more hip-hop than pop, and highlighted deep issues like self-esteem and mental health in their lyrics. They also actively participate in writing and producing their own music, which is unusual in the K-pop industry. They have always been loyal to their fans, as much as their fans have been loyal to them, and they waited many years for the band to reunite in 2026 due to members having to do a mandatory military service. The economic impact of BTS for South Korea is just insane. The Hyundai Research Institute estimated that the band generated $5 billion per year and represents about 0.3% of the country's GDP. Also, the growing tourism in South Korea is one of the consequences of the growing success of K-pop, and BTS is responsible for 1 in every 13 foreign tourists in South Korea. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave us a comment to let us know what you think about K-pop.